guy your neighbor? Yeah, he's a vampire, man.
My neighbor.
Yeah.
Next door.
Yeah.
Jerry, I just met him.
Okay, Jerry.
That is a terrible vampire name. Jerry?
I didn't name him, man. I'm just reporting the facts.
You read way too much Twilight.
That's fiction, okay? This is real. He's a real monster, and he's not...
Okay, that's a clip from a vampire movie that's not Twilight.
No, the movie is Fright Night, a horror comedy starring Colin Farrell. And our movie guy, Aaron Lafferty, saw the movie in 3D earlier this week. He hasn't taken off his glasses since because it's a big weekend for 3D.
Well, I mean, I brought the prop because there's 3 movies in 3D this weekend. I mean, we're just getting inundated with the 3D movies, so we're like coming at you.
Is it because the technology is just getting more accessible or more affordable?
It's getting cheaper. You know, it's not changing the ticket price. Of course, the ticket price is going to be more. So is it worth seeing in 3D? They actually do make some good use of 3D here in this movie. Colin Farrell's very good as the vampire. You know, he brings his bad boy image with him as the neighbor next door that may or may not be a vampire. Obviously, we're not going to hide this. This is a remake of the 1985 movie. Colin Farrell's a vampire. He's kind of stalking the neighborhood. This is set in a Las Vegas suburb. So it kind of makes sense, you know, that he's not up during the day because a lot of people in Las Vegas work at night. So he's kind of got that cover going for him. Anton Yelchin plays the main character who's kind of suspicious of him. Toni Collette's the mom. She does a good job here, but most of her talents are wasted. It's a pretty good movie. I give it a 6. It'll do okay this weekend. It is in 3D. It is rated R. It's about an hour 45. So definitely not for the little kids. And I hate to be on the soapbox, but there was a lot of little kids at the screening, and I think they're going to be nightmares.
Oh,
really?
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So does it hold true? People have seen this. Is it worth coming out to see it? You know, this new remake.
Yeah, I mean, if you hadn't seen the first one, it's okay. This one's pretty good. This one could become a cult classic too. It just has that kind of vibe to it. It's very campy. You know, it kind of makes fun of itself as it's going, and it has a lot more comedy than the original did. So I found this one to be more funny than the first Fright Night.
Okay, there's another option though this weekend in 3D.
Yes, another 3D option. Conan the Barbarian, which is a remake of the 1982 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
I'm kind of surprised this is in 3D.
Yeah, well, they can charge more.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple, they're going to make more money with it being in 3D. You know, it is what it is. It's kind of that sword and sandal epic, you know, Clash Titans. You know, we've seen a lot of these kinds of movies. You know, Conan, basically, he's out to seek revenge on the guy that killed his family, and he soon sets out on a quest to kind of save everybody that's kind of under this warlord. Stephen Lang, who was the bad guy in Avatar, you might remember, he's the bad guy here. Rose McGowan plays his daughter. She's a sorceress, so he kind of picks up Rich McNichols along the way, and they kind of go on this quest, if you will. So another R-rated movie, violent, bloody. So just understand.
Leave the kids at home.
Yeah. Okay, so with all of this 3D kind of frightening stuff, there's got to be something that's for the family.
We have a family movie. We also have a romantic movie. Anne Hathaway and Jim Sturgis are in a movie called One Day. Basically, they meet college graduation night, and we see them over the next 20 years, that same day, over the next 20 years. So we keep coming back each year on that day to see where their life is. So are they friends? Are they lovers? Are they friends? You know, what are they? So we kind of get to see that over a 20-year period.
That's interesting. Relationships go up and down.
Right, and this was a great novel, and it's interesting because it'll probably split the box office with people who haven't seen The Help yet.
Right. And actually, speaking of The Help, I think The Help is going to possibly sneak up to #1 this weekend.
Really?
Because you've got 2 R-rated movies which don't do so well box office wise because you're splitting your audience. You're pretty much saying, I'm going to just have these people seeing this movie. So One Day and The Help will battle there a little bit, but I think The Help takes first place, even away from Conan.
They've gotten a lot of marketing, even though they've been out already.
And the word of mouth is very good on The Help too.
Yeah, exactly.
The One Day is actually getting about a 5. The other ones are getting 5 or 6. So you know, we'll see. Spy Kids 4 is your family movie this weekend, also in 3D. They're actually saying it's 4D. They're saying it's in smell-o-vision. Not all theaters equipped for smell-o-vision, of course.
Okay, interesting.
I've seen a lot of promotion on this, Aaron.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
That tells me that maybe it's not as great, that they have to kind of go out a little bit more. At least that's what you've told me in the past.
This is the 4th movie in the franchise. Jessica Alba, she's playing a former spy who gets kind of pulled back into the game. There's a villain called the Timekeeper, played by Jeremy Jeremy Piven, who's always good.
I love him.
You love Jeremy Piven. You know, it's getting really horrible reviews. It's
really?
getting like a 2 or a 3.
Huh, interesting.
Really?
So this is probably a wait to see, and definitely don't see it in 3D because you're probably wasting your money. I haven't seen it, but just based on what I've read.
That's interesting. Okay.
Avoid this one.
All right, so you also have some great stuff coming out on DVD.
Right, Grand Rapids movie, Setup, because there's other movies called The Setup.
The Setup.
Setup, 50 Cent, Bruce Willis. They filmed back here in November, December of last year.
Hey, you got to see them. They were
This
chasing
is the
through
one
the
where
alleys
remember
by
he was meeting on my house.
and they shot at the Meat Locker in Byron Center and
Shot all over the place.
a
Shot
couple of
at
the
Hopcat,
cemeteries.
Downtown.
Yeah, so this is another one of those Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids,
based West
made-
Michigan.
And Bruce
made in
Willis,
Michigan.
though, is in this. I'd probably
Right.
see it just to see him.
That looks like the Amway hangar.
Here's the thing, it's only going to DVD. It's going straight to DVD.
No, really?
So
Why?
happy birthday to my wife. It comes out on September 20th.
Perfect. There you go. And you know, speaking of Grand Rapids based, we actually have still on the big screen one of the biggest movies made
Right.
in this area.
They had the national
The only
big
West Michigan-made movie with a theatrical release, 30 minutes or less. It was 5th at the box office last weekend, which doesn't sound great, but considering it didn't have any other major help, it wasn't coming out with like a Transformers movie or a Twilight movie, or to pull really in the viewers. It didn't get really good word of mouth. I gave it what did I give it, a 7 or something like that.
But for people who live here, should see it because it's so cool.
Right, it's fun. It's fun to see all the scenes, all the different locations. If for nothing other than the locations, there's some pretty good comedy in here. Again, that's an R-rated movie, so consider that. It's probably only going to be at nationally 2 to 3 weeks because it's not making a lot of money, so it's probably only going to last 2 to 3 weeks.
It's good to know.
In the Grand Rapids, in the 4 Grand Rapids area theaters, it'll probably be 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So if you're outside the Grand Rapids area, go see it this weekend or next weekend maybe. If you're in Grand Rapids, you can probably catch it the next weekend.
Okay.
Interesting. Gosh, there's a lot to pick from this weekend.
There is, yeah. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. So how do people get in touch with you, and how do they learn a little bit more about, the blog?
I'm also on live8.com.
Oh,
Go down to
perfect.
You're
entertainment
expanding your
blogs,
reach.
Wow, Aaron has hit the big time.
So you
Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter,
Twitter, YouTube,
WithTV.com.
TV.com as always.
You know what? Honestly, when you walked into the studio wearing those glasses, I thought it's because you become a superstar. And now that you're on live8.com, you really are a superstar.
Yeah, too bad 8 West isn't in 3D, right?
I think so. Maybe someday. Look at the belly is expanding.
Yeah, it's coming at you by the day.
And some people have been asking about the Tree of Life, which got really good reviews. I wasn't a big fan of it, but that's at Woodland this weekend too. So
Fantastic.
check that out. That's a movie that's probably going to get some Oscar attention.
All right.
Thank you, Aaron. We always appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Have a good weekend.